Hi everyone, it's Ann at Martin House Flowers. It's a beautiful day. Started a little bit later, but I was waiting for the temperatures to warm up. It's probably in the mid 50s already. The sun is shining, and I'm going to work on prepping the raised garden beds for my cut flowers because in a matter of a few weeks, probably only 2 or 3, I will be planting out my snapdragons, which is super exciting. And so, yeah, thanks for joining me. It's a pretty windy day. I just tested my first scene right in front of the raised beds, and it's a little bit glaring and a little bit windy. So we'll see what I can capture today, but I'm just going to do some easy tasks. I have some bags of compost and bags of topsoil in the beds right now that originally were planned for tulips, and of course it was too frozen, so I'm assuming I can cut through those today, clear out the snapdragon beds, clean up the bachelor's buttons that are still there. um, just do some cleanup and take advantage of this beautiful day. So thanks for joining me today. So a few weeks ago, Greg and I went and got some of these bags of compost and topsoil that was on sale, and they froze. Now they're nice and soft, and because I'm going to start over there with the snapdragons, I'm going to continue that bed over there. I mean, I am thinking about potentially moving it to over here, because they will be cool weather flowers, but I was already planning on doing snapdragons in those 2 beds in case something repeated, and then zinnias in the middle like last year, and then filler flowers over here. So anyway, for now, I'm just going to bring these bags over there, and because those are the 2 beds that I need to amend right away and work on. I see a lot of bunny poop in those 2 beds, so clearly that's where they've been living. And we're going to need to take care of that. I have a feeling it's going to be a little tough to film today because my tripod's fallen already a couple times. Most of these are snapdragons, but wow, look at how strong they were. I guess the reason I didn't take them all out in the fall was that I wondered whether some of them would overwinter, and it's not looking like there's anything that's come back up. Seeing a lot of rabbit poop. I'm not sure I want to touch it. I'm not sure it's good for the soil. Last May and June, we put good Miracle Grow garden soil. It was all organic stuff that we got at Costco. It was a really great deal. They were the big giant bags. They're about $10 a bag. So I think we need to make a trip to Costco again and see if there's any more, because it's cheaper than even buying 2 bags of compost. Typically in the second year, like I did in my raised kitchen garden bed, we just added the following year. We always start out the first year with good garden soil, And then the following year, we just add bags and bags of compost. We've never gotten a load delivered, and as you can tell, we don't really have the space to make our own compost pile. I would have to compromise garden space, and I just don't have that luxury. So, kind of gross, picking out little turds, little rabbit turds, but these gloves will just go into, just get washed. I had these amazing daisies, banana cream, in here last year, and I don't know, they're not looking like they survived. I've never had luck with daisies, and yet they're one of my favorite flowers. But I'm just going to go ahead and amend the soil. Since I'm not planting today, I'll just add more compost to it and see what happens. Man, those bunnies are everywhere. These might be hollyhocks that I just dug up, but honestly, I'm not really wanting them here. I just pulled up the daisy. Gosh darn it. But it's really not looking good. And all the netting that was here, it's kind of nylon netting, fabric nylon, did not work. The bunnies just got in here and broke all of it. So it's definitely not something that I can reuse. So let me just finish up cleaning this bed, pulling out all of the foliage of snapdragons. And rabbit poop. I'm not sure rabbit poop qualifies as good fertilizer the way chicken poop does. If you guys have any suggestions as to how you deal with rabbit pressure, because as you can see here, it's pretty open where we are. We have 3 empty lots behind our property and 1 right beside us here. And, you know, we never had bunny issues before until we built these raised beds. It was like, you know, building a smorgasbord buffet for them, because I would see them. Man, they root nicely, don't they? I would see these bunnies running around in this one corner property over there, and I think, man, it's kind of cute, and we're so lucky they don't come over here. And then as my husband started building these beds last year, they literally would be circling, hanging around the edge of our property, watching him build, as to say, well, that looks like a great new home for me to have some babies. I'm going to try to get to the other side. I don't know why I didn't do this last fall, but, you know, oh, it's so soft. The ground is so soft and thawed out, as opposed to 3 weeks ago. And I really did wonder whether or not snapdragons would perennialize in my area, because a lot of people talked about that. My mother-in-law, when she lived not too far away, she said that snapdragons came back for her. Roses over here that were probably also, gosh, attacked by the bunnies. I guess I took the cloches off. Oh, so upsetting if they were decimated by the rabbits. This one over here still looks alive. The one over there, one of them is the Impressionist and one is Kiss Me Kate, both climbing roses against this arbor over here. But we'll see. Usually it's time to prune your roses around this time, but because these are first year roses, just planted them last summer, I don't tend to prune my roses very heavily. I just look for when I see growth, and I just cut any dead canes, and it's just too early to prune those. But my Kiss Me Kate against the garage in my south facing yard, that definitely will need to be pruned, and I'm going to do a video probably when I'm back from Toronto. I don't think it's too late to prune then. The end of March, I think it'll be perfectly fine. bed I had bachelor's buttons, African daisies. Everything was direct sowed. I had cucumbers in that far corner near the arbor. I had them kind of climbing a little bit. Originally we had the arbors in the beds, but they were just too unstable, so Greg put them into the gravel and really deep in there. They're nice and solid now. But what I did was I transferred the bags of topsoil and compost, and I'm just going to empty them in here. I was able to save some of my tags from last year. Oh, there's another one. This one is Black Print Snapdragon. Yeah, I had a lot of Black Print Snapdragons. So I'm not sure if it was captured earlier, but last year we used beautiful bags of organic Miracle Grow garden mix, garden soil that we bought from Costco. They were, these are 2 liter. They were probably like 8-liter bags, 8 to 10-liter bags at Costco for $10. It's an incredible deal. And I remember doing 5 or 6 bags for each of these beds. So it would have been 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 bags. And there was a limit, but we went back a couple times. So unfortunately, my battery died on my camera, so I had to take it inside to charge it. And I did manage to empty all those bags of compost and topsoil into the beds. And later I came back out to film this last bit, and I looked in my kitchen garden, and can you see those little buds coming up? Some of it is garlic, and those red buds coming up, I think, are my tulips from last fall, last summer, or last spring that came up that we planted a year ago fall. So there are the beds, all nice and dressed with new compost and topsoil. I do need to come in and do those middle beds. I put a couple bags of compost in that one bed, but for the most part, these 2 and a couple more are nice and filled with fresh compost and fresh topsoil for my Snapdragons. I felt really happy about getting those cleaned up and prepped. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I thank you so much for being with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.